Hi everyone, this is Anindita from Your First Nature and this is our journey to a life closer to nature. In today's video, I am going to talk about all the planning that I had to do in order to start my edible garden. I am also going to show you some of the first seedlings that I planted in one of my garden beds. And in the end, I am going to introduce you to someone very important in this journey of mine. So please keep watching. A few disclaimers before I start. Number one, this year I didn't have the luxury to plan way too much because I moved in here just about a month back, a little over a month back. And at the time it was already midway through summer and monsoon season was approaching. So I wanted to jumpstart this effort as soon as possible so that the young seedlings have the best possible chance to survive. Number two, immediately after I moved in here, lockdown started in this entire state. So I didn't have the luxury to buy too much of resources. So I tried to do it with whatever was available at that point of time. Also, even if I have quite a lot of experience in houseplants, I don't really have too much experience in edible garden section because in Mumbai I only grew a few green vegetables here and there like spinach, coriander, fenugreek and a few other herbs. Other than that, I don't really have a lot of experience in terms of edible garden. So this time it will be just as much learning for me as it will be for many of you. The next one, I did start composting immediately after I moved in, but since it has been only 1 month, my compost is not yet ready. So I had to do with only some compost that I had lying in my house and also some other cow dung compost which I had available around the house. Having said that, I did do some kind of planning before I started with my edible garden. So I'm going to just get into it. In an ideal scenario, there should be considerable amount of planning behind any edible garden. People staying in colder climates, they have to plan it out because they have a shorter growing period. But I don't have that problem because the weather here is always hot and humid. But even that kind of weather has its own problems. For example, the peak summer heat here is very high. So I have to be very careful that I don't expose my young seedlings in the midday sun, which could totally kill them. Another thing that I have to keep in mind is that since I live in the middle of a jungle, which you can see just behind me, so here an average day wind speed is way higher than many other places. The things that I did plan before I jumped into it are lighting, space, soil quality and to some extent layout. But this year is experimental for me, so I'm not really doing that much of layout planning. So I will see how this year goes and next year onwards I will plan it even more in detail.
In order to start my vegetable garden, the first thing I needed to plan was lighting. Some vegetables like tomato, chili, etc. need more light, whereas some vegetables like green leafy vegetables need less light. Different parts of my garden gets different amount of light. So to understand the lighting situation, I observed each one of my growing space at different times of a day: 9:30 am, 11:30 am, 1 pm and 3 pm. This is the east side of my house that already has quite a few fruit trees. This area gets almost direct sun till roughly around 1 to 1:30 pm. Considering 6 am as the sunrise time, this area gets 6 to 7 hours of good light. This is the west side of my house. This area gets sunlight roughly from 11 am onwards. This is the back side of my garden. Even if this is the south side, the wall borders the jungle at the back and the overgrown jungle creates shade over this area almost throughout the day. So this area may not be suitable for growing any vegetables except some leafy greens. The front side of the house gets direct sun pretty much throughout the day. So I can grow the most sun demanding vegetables in this space. These are some other sides of the front side of my garden. Space is another thing that I have to consider before sowing the seeds. Some vegetables need more space than others. The vining plants like beans, gourds, tomatoes, etc. need space to vine or a trellis to climb. Also at the front side of my house, where I get sunlight almost all day long, there are only 2 small beds. So to utilize the space with maximum sunlight, I will have to use grow bags. So I can grow only those vegetables that don't need too deep soil. The soil here is a little dense, and due to the heat and sun, the exposed soil has hardened too much. One bed in the front of the house was covered by grass when I moved in, and that's the only bed we could loosen up and plant seedlings in. The soil around the fruit trees is also not that hard. I'm not sure about the nutrition content in the soil, but I would guess it isn't bad, since dry leaves always fall on the ground and decompose. And I have also seen lots of earthworms in the soil around the fruit trees, which means the soil has organic matter. So initially I didn't have enough resources available for too much soil amendment. So I planted seeds and seedlings only around the fruit trees and the patch that was covered by grass. But later, when I could buy coco peat and compost, I mixed a coco peat, compost, neem cake together and put about 3 inches deep layer of the mixture on top of the soil. I didn't go too crazy to plan the layout this year. In the front side bed, I planted seedlings about 12 inches apart, and I considered each of the fruit trees as one tiny bed and planted some seeds around the fruit trees. In this area, I preferred plants that need trellis to grow, like cucumber, different beans, etc. In each of these clusters, I also planted 2 other types of plants. First type is flowers. We all know that flowers are not just valuable in the garden due to their beauty, they are absolutely essential to attract pollinators. Without the beneficial insects, even if my tomato plant grows and flowers, it won't turn into tomato. The second type is harmful insect repellent. My garden is going to be strictly organic, so I will never spray any chemical pesticide. I do use some organic pest control methods, but nature has its own pest control system. There are some plants that repel harmful pests naturally. I will do another episode on those types of plants, but for the benefit of today's episode, some examples are lemongrass, basil, marigold, etc. So I planted 1 or more of these in each one of these clusters.
Alright, now the person that I want to introduce. I want to introduce you to Maheshwari.
Maheshwari, say something.
Finished mixing.
Finish mixing? Okay.
She is my gardening buddy and she is the partner in crime in everything that I have been doing here in terms of gardening. So that's all for today. Please let us know if you like this video in the comment section, and also let us know your feedback. If you think we could have done something better, please let us know. After all, this is a learning journey for all of us, right? Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. That will really help us a lot. I'll see you again next week with more gardening content. Until then, stay home, stay safe. Have a nice week. Take care. Bye-bye.